A century ago, this area of northern Vancouver Island, the rainforest, was very isolated. There were no roads, and the development of this mine relied on steamships to keep them supplied. Good morning. We're at the mine manager's house at Suquash. This was a very special place where people once lived 100 years ago. It was an elegant residence, 2 stories high, built at the edge of a cliff with a commanding view out over the Queen Charlotte Straits. All that's left today is the concrete foundations and the stone masonry fireplaces. This is a walking tour of Suquash, a museum without walls experience. This is really cool to walk through the forest and see these industrial artifacts in perfect condition. Pacific Coast Coal Company started their operations west of here in 1908 with shaft number 1. In 1914, this area was being developed for the larger shaft number 2, but unfortunately World War I started and everything was shut down. Imagine taking the controls of the double steam-powered hoist engine. The conical drum indicates that this was intended for a deep shaft. One side was for lifting and the other side was for lowering the cages. The cables would have reached upwards and turned over the big wheels supported by a structural steel headframe. The concrete-collared shaft number 2 was large enough to accommodate 2 cages with side rails. Pit excavation reached 4 meters before work was stopped at the beginning of World War I. The steam boiler house was located between the double steam-powered hoist and the manager's house. This large concrete base would have supported the steel chimney sections, which are now lying on the ground next to it. This small steam donkey is mounted on wood log skids. It must have been very versatile with numerous geared winches to pull itself on skids from tree to tree or pull the new equipment up the ravine. Working with an A-frame, it could also lift the new equipment into place. You can see the exposed coal seams at the beach below. The surface coal is of a lower quality than that mined at depth. First Nations surface mined this coal in the mid-1800s and delivered it to the ships with their canoes. This was the first mine in BC.